to motivate yourself. And this is very important subject, and I really like to speak about that. And because sometimes, as I said, like, it's hard to motivate yourself. And I'll tell you how you can motivate yourself when you're in that situation, when you're going through that phase of your life, and see what can you do. So you must have seen factors of like what motivates people, right? Uh, what motivates people, like sometime, it could be just achieving good grades, getting into good college, or getting a nice job, or finding a spouse, or getting a raise, making more money. Money is a motivating factor for many people. And but so these are like extrinsic motivation. uh, there was a book called Drive, written by I think Daniel Pink. So he talked about motivation a lot in the book, and he quoted a lot of research work regarding motivation, and he spoke about external motivation, all these factors like fame and money and status and awards and rewards. And uh, he said the research have shown that they're not long lasting, that it has a role. Sometime if you have a project in mind and you want people to achieve that project, and then you go along with that, and then you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And sometimes the extrinsic motivation or a prize or a reward at the end can help. But in the long run, this extrinsic motivation is not very beneficial for people. So, are there other factors? Are there other ways to motivate people? And then he talked about intrinsic motivation in his book. And I think that's the whole idea about intrinsic motivation. What more motivate people? It has to come from within. It has to come from the heart, or for like you have to have a bigger calling or purpose, or different meaning in your life to derive motivation from that source. And what that will do, that you will derive energy, you will have more energy. You see some people are so energetic and so motivated towards their goal. They just like keep on going and making things happen. And you realize why they're so excited, why they're so motivated, because their goal is so important for them. They're passionate about certain project. They're passionate about learning. I mean, for me, to be honest, this is my passion, that I can help people, I can motivate people in when you are in a difficult situation, when you don't feel motivated. And this is my passion, to just energize you and see what other things you can do to just you can come out of that rut and come out of that zone, and then be more productive and be more beneficial, grow and help yourself and help people around you, because that's how you will make a difference in the lives of other people. So, so we heard about the word willpower. That sometimes they said, you have that goal. We set those New Year goals, or you want to go and exercise and work out. You have a regime and regimen, and then you say, okay, I need to do 6 days 6 days a week. I need to go to the gym. Then you realize, oh, I mean, you're not really you're motivated initially, but you can't comply with that. And after a week or 2 weeks, you feel you're not motivated. You find different reasons not to do it. And then, so the willpower has a role, but it's not long lasting. It doesn't, it has a life cycle too. Uh, there was a psychologist, I think, Kathy McGonnell. She wrote a book about stress, positive side of the stress, upshoot of the stress, and also she talked about willpower. And they mentioned that the willpower is like a battery. And she said, that at the end of the day, when it goes down. So your motivation goes down when you are, throughout the day, and you need to recharge your battery. You need to go back to the charging station, and then also say like how you're more energized and more motivated in the morning, at the start of the day, because your battery is all full. You look at your phone and your battery is full, so phone is functional. Same way it works for you, that you're more motivated in the morning, you're more motivated, and you're energized in the morning. So your willpower is strong. Sometimes some people have a very, very strong willpower, and then they have a purpose and meaning behind it. So these two are a very good combination. Then when you have a strong willpower and you're a disciplined person, you have a person you have an accountability partner with you, and then you have a goal and you want to achieve that goal, you want to stay on track, and then you just basically, you start slow. That's the process you have to go through. A change for you cannot happen all at once. It has to be slow, and you make progress gradually, because your mind and your habits, your life, your body is going to get used to of this new lifestyle, or the new thing which you plan to do, the new things, new projects, the new goal you have in your mind. So it's going to take time. So the willpower, it's gonna, you can develop it, but start any new projects or start any new things slowly. Same thing will work for you. How if you want to get rid of like some bad habits, like you're inactive, you want to go to gym, you want to exercise, you want to eat right, you want to get rid of something, addictive habits, smoking, alcohol, or drug addictions, or anything which you don't like, and then but you need motivating factors to do all that, because you've been you're addicted to that habit, so it's very difficult for you to get rid of it. And what are the things you can do, how you can get rid of these factors, those habits, and what can you do? I think certain things you can do, and find out that you have to make a firm decision, disciplined approach towards that habit, and see the negative side effects, and what will happen if you continue and you keep on going and don't get rid of the bad habits. It has a bad consequence on your health, on your personal health, on your psychological health, on your emotional health, financial health, etc. So it has a negative effect in your life if you don't pay attention to that. So you need mentors, you need right kind of environment. Environment plays a big role in your life of learning and growth, in a positive way and the negative way. So you want to make sure that you are in the right kind of environment if you want to get rid of a bad habit, or trying to acquire some good habits. So sometime, as I said, that what do you do when you feel not motivated, and you're not energized to do certain things? And I want you to think about it. Give me a minute. As I said, the intrinsic motivation, the purpose, the meaning, your higher calling, your goals are very, very important to keep you motivated on your track, keep you motivated in your life. And you see, what are some of the intrinsic motivations you have? What are some of the meanings, and what fulfills you, what you're passionate about? Because you have to find out in you, and see how can you get those factors out, and how can you learn from that, and what can you do to derive that energy of motivation from your meaning and purpose. And that will be your intrinsic motivation. As I said, even if you have that intrinsic motivation in place, you have a purpose, you have a goal, sometime you still feel not motivated. you're still not active and you're still not energized, and you know that you're motivated, you're like you have to achieve certain goals, and you have your goals are clear, depending upon your meaning and purpose. So when you're in that situation, uh, I said that motivation can be cultivated in that time, that you can basically uh, uh, cultivate that and, and derive that energy and passion towards your goal. And that's very important to know. And some people think that, if I'm amotivated, I can't do anything about my goal, then they stop kidding. And they think that the negativity then takes over and say, it's impossible, I can't achieve this goal, it's too much. But you don't give up, you cultivate that motivation. I call this, you have to have a motivation toolkit with you. So what do I mean by motivation toolkit? Uh, it will be helpful for you to develop a motivation toolkit. Like, you need somebody in your life who will help you when you are down, when you are amotivated, when you don't feel like doing something, but it's important for you to do. And then also, what are the other things you have in your motivation toolkit? You have a friend or somebody you trust, and that person is taking care of your needs, and he's your well wisher, he or she. And then, so also learning about the story of the people, and reading about it, some whatever goals you have, people who've accomplished certain things in the past or in the present. You learn the stories of those people, and just basically remind yourself, because uh, motivation is all where you keep your attention. If you keep your attention towards your goal, towards uh, your motivational toolkit, and how you're gonna energize and how you're gonna get yourself out of that rut, then and then it will starting to energize you, and you will come back to your good face, and you will be happy that you come out. And so learning about the story, reading a book, maybe reading poetry, and reading about lives of people in the past who had similar goal. How did they accomplish? How did they overcome their challenges? I think at that time, it's important for you to go back and recharge yourself. This is how you will recharge your motivation. And sometimes there are physical factors also you can do to recharge yourself. And sleep is very important. Sometimes you feel like, you had a hard day, and you feel wiped out, and you don't feel more motivated at all. And maybe you're tired, and you need some rest, and taking a nap, once you get up get up, then give you a fresh start. And you realize, go for a walk. Outside environment is very, very good for your mood, and you must uh, take this into account, and take learn from and take advantage of this opportunity. And soon it'll be spring, and there'll be summer. Make a habit of staying in the outside environment. That'll be good for your mood, and it will help you bring back your more motivation. You'll be happy, you'll be excited to go back, and you'll come out of that a motivated phase. And certain things also, like, taking care of yourself, hygiene, clean, taking shower, and all these things also basically help you to get into better mood. And eating healthy is also important. So these physical factors are also important to help you to come out of that rut, and make sure that you pay attention to those things. Sometimes you're procrastinating about something. Uh, I've spoken in the past about 3 rules of procrastination. How do you get out of that? And what can you do? Certain things you have to do, but you are just not motivated to do it. You're procrastinating, and but needs to be done. And just like I said, the first phase is like you basically prepare yourself and think, if you don't do it, have that project or that goal which you plan to achieve has a negative consequence. And you need to do that. Set a time on your alarm, on your calendar, that tomorrow you will do that certain project. Once you see it, sometime you're mentally prepared to do that task the next day. And then also, and do small, just prepare yourself, get into the mood, maybe go out for a walk, as I said, and then that'll bring you out. And then you start something small towards your project. And that energy and that effort will bring you back towards your goal, and you're back on track, and you're not procrastinating anymore. So in the end, in the summary, as I said, the motivation is very important. It's the key in life. You're born you're born to live, and you're here to do things and be active and make things happen, have intrinsic motivation, have higher goals and purpose and meaning in your life, and you will feel more motivated at times. Go back to your motivational toolkits and see a friend who can help you, bring you out of that rut, and read about the stories of people that can energize you. Certain poetry or reading a book or a music can help, and then you'll be back on track on your project. This is how you'll keep yourself more motivated, and you're basically progressing towards your goal. And also, don't forget, the physical factors are very important. Making sure that you have disciplined approach, you take care of your health, you eat healthy food, you go out for a walk, you exercise. That gives you fresh perspectives, and you'll feel like happy, and you're excited to do your work. And so I'm happy that I'm able to maybe share some ideas with you regarding more motivation and whatever plans and goals you have. I feel that maybe these ideas can be helpful to you. If you have any question, please send on the chat, and we'll be happy to answer. So so we'll end this session now, and wait for your question, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you so much. I'm just checking if there are messages or people send anything on live. Do we have any questions from any of the platforms? There was one question earlier, you said. We can open up for question and answers or comments or any ideas or input anybody has. Please feel free. We'll be happy to hear from you, because you heard enough me talking.
Someone, it's called Z's phone, ask her to for him.
Is there a question?
Yeah, last session. Just address him or her.
What's the question?
She didn't share. She wanted to be on the mic.
Oh, she want to be on the mic?
Yeah, so you can ask her. Her name is Z phone.
It's okay. But how can I'm not on Zoom.
You're on Zoom.
Oh, but I can see it. I'm not. What is the question? Somebody has a question on Zoom session, and please feel free to share. If they want to speak, go ahead. Please introduce yourself first.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is Zahid, Dr. Zahid.
Oh, my friend Zahid. Thank you.
How are you? Thank you so much. Beautiful talk and motivational. I really appreciate your input. You are the great example at our surgery center when you talk about compassion and nice to patients, and no one could be better than yourself to give this talk. Jazakallah. Regarding your first session, I wanted to just share some comments. Nowadays, as you know, patients' families are not allowed in the hospital or surgery center, and they're kind of in the dark of what's going on with the patient or their care. And I've noticed that many physicians don't communicate with the family members. So if the patient is alert and oriented, they communicate with them. But if the patient is confused or unable to communicate, then family members are in dark, and it's very difficult for family members to grasp from the nurses and just over the phone. And I've seen several examples where families are frustrated. They're trying to get information. 5 doctors are coming. They're doing all different things, and family has no idea of what's happening with their loved ones. So it's so important that, as you said, that we keep that in mind, give 2-3 extra minutes in our daily rounds, and pick up the phone, call the family member, tell them what's happening from your perspective.
I totally agree, Zaid bhai. Thank you so much for bringing this up. And, I mean, you know better than I do, because most of the time you physicians have to speak to the family members regarding their, what to follow postoperatively, keep them up, give them heads up. And I appreciated your input, and I hope other physicians can learn from that and take some time. I think it's important. Yes.
Thank you.
Of course. What's that? Is Noren there?
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. What did you say about the ice cream?
Oh, don't worry about it.
No, it's okay. Please share, do share. I mean,
Oh.
Noren facility is a great example of all these things which I mentioned: compassion, kindness, and indispensable, and highly motivated. So please share your input and ideas at the panel and enlighten some other people.
Yeah, no, thank you, so much for all of your information you're given here. I'm presently in the hospital, but these are the notes that I've been taking from your talk. I think, what you pointed out is in the beginning is really true. We struggle between being scientists, but also healers. And I think, the physicians first started off as healers. And so now the pendulum has swung, and, we're very focused on the science and how do we bring those things together. I think one of the biggest challenges is time and trying to do all of it together. And I think, you mentioned realizing that we can't control everything. And I think that's a really good point to take away, and that we should just try to do our best. And within the best, make sure that we are compassionate to patients. And that can really be with small acts of kindness. I know one thing, and Zafar, we were talking about this recently. I was listening to somebody talk about being kind to patients, and one thing they talked about was sitting down. And I know in the hospital, when I go to see a patient, I'm often standing in the office. I'm sitting down, and so I just the past week or two, I've tried to take a stool, labor and delivery, and just sit down with the patients, and it just takes an extra couple seconds, and I feel that has created, it improves the environment. So just we're all so busy, but finding small techniques here and there to show some extra compassion, especially in a state where healthcare is, where I think patients are now picking up on, and they feel that it's really just an industry, and the only way for us to reclaim it to some extent is to bring that compassion back. But anyway, that was a long long comment, but thanks very much as always, and I'm taking a lot away from this.
As I said, these things are small. I mean, we just need to just be cognizant about those things, and it makes a huge difference in the lives of the patient. And I've seen people giving positive and negative opinion about their providers based on their experience and how compassionate, how personable the person was, how much time they took out to talk to them, explain to them, and they feel so happy speaking to that doctor, and vice versa. When you are in a cutthroat environment, you are in a high-tech office, and you go there and it's all science, 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 and there's less heart, and you realize, I mean, I'm just like, for them it's nobody. I'm just a case. I'm just behind that case is a person. So we're forgetting that part, and I think it's important that we bring that back in our practice. And this art of healing is very, very important for patient, and it's and the science is overpowering and overcoming that aspects of healing which have shown so much benefits in the past, and even now you hear people raving about their doctors, honestly, sometimes, that, oh my God, that person was so nice. And that happened, like you don't realize, even from business standpoint, all these administrators, they don't realize the impact of that. I recently went to see a doctor, and then I got a text message from them like, oh, give us 5-star rating. Asking for 5-star rating or 5-star review based on your experience, that it means they already feel pretty good about themselves, and they just want to maintain that. They're not looking to improve or asking my advice or opinion. How was my experience? Can they do anything different, etc. I think the reviews should be geared towards that way, that it should be focused that anything we can do to improve the experience. How was your experience in general? Not asking like, oh, thinking that we're already the best, and you just give a stamp of approval again that we are 5-star, and give us 5-star reviews and rating about your experience. And I think all of us need to keep this in mind and bring that back. And it's very important for patients, and it's good for you as a provider. You realize that you're making a difference in the lives of people. Otherwise, you realize that, oh my God, you've been so busy, you feel so tired and burned out. And then because you'll be just doing mechanistic practice all day long, and there's all head and science. There's no heart involved. So it's important. I agree. Thank you.
So the question, how can a person increase his willpower?
I mean, I mentioned earlier regarding willpower. Willpower phenomena is very different, that you think that willpower can overcome your challenge, and you can supersede. At times it can. It depends upon the person and depends upon the task and the goal you have in mind. Some goals you're so passionate about. As I said, the intrinsic motivation is very important for you to overcome that willpower, and that intrinsic motivation will make you get off the bed, and you'll be happy and you'll be energized, and then you'll have more willpower. And I think the whole talk of motivation, I said certain factors uh, going back to your motivational toolkit when you feel motivated, and that will increase your willpower. That will increase your energy and strength, and you'll be going along. Whenever I talk about willpower, I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger. I used to listen to his story so much in the past, and he's an example of great willpower. The person will just go and exercise for 5 hours, 6 days a week in a gym because he had a goal. He wanted to be a world champion, and he did become one. And that's an example of a person who had very high willpower. And I think it depends upon your goal, depends upon what you want to achieve. And if you're talking about making improvement in your health, and you have to have, you want to increase willpower on that. And then you basically just keep your mind preoccupied with improving your health. And because that's very important for you. Where do you keep your mind, and how do you stay motivated? What kind of environment you're in? Imagine if you go to an environment, you talk to a friend who is like, basically he's not going to motivate or help you. He's going to basically do the opposite for you. So he's not good for your willpower. He's not good for your motivation. So you want to have that kind of those kind of people in your environment who can help you and bring you out if you are, if you don't feel motivated. And at times, as I said, all of us don't have a strong willpower. And small acts, if you want to develop a habit, it takes time. You can't start like you can't develop 5-hour workout and you'll be good at it. It'll be impossible. So you have to gradually increase your the dose and gradually increase your practice. And slowly, that also basically going along and disciplining yourself will give you confidence, and you'll feel that I can achieve that, and then you improve slowly. So I hope that helped. Anybody else? So Dr. Javed Iqbal is a very, very busy man. He had the intention to participate or send a recorded session, but for some reason, I think he's not available. So that's the last half hour was left for him. And I thank you all for coming, taking the time. Thank you, Dr. Zahid Beg, Noreen, he's working, and some of the other friends who joined from Pakistan. Please say a few words. Dr. Munaz Abdul is there still?
Dr. Noreen is there.
Yeah, yeah. Noreen just spoke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have any comment or advice or anything you like to share. Who's this?
Amanda Angels.
Okay. Please feel free to share if you have any comments or any questions for the audience, for anybody else. So Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Me?
Yes, please.
My name is Amanda Romeo. I'm a surgical tech at St. Clair's.
Oh, Amanda, I'm sorry. Thank you for joining. Of course. Amanda, I didn't hear that. Thank you. Anybody else joined from the hospital? I don't know. Amanda is a new tech. We're very happy to have her. She's a great addition to the night floor. She takes care of the surgeries and C-sections at night, and great help. And would you like to share something, Amanda?
I just, I've been listening. And I think I agree about your last thing you were just talking about motivation and about hanging out with people that motivate you. That is definitely important. Your circle, defines you. And, I think it's important, if you have a goal, like you said, with Schwarzenegger, like I had a goal to get into a hospital, and, I did what I had to do working at surgery centers. And then when I finally got to St. Clair's, it was like I reached such a goal. I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I'm just so happy to be a part of a really awesome team But, my goal doesn't end here. I still have other goals, but this is just, it's something that's big for me. And I think that it's important to hang around with people that motivate you.
I agree. Thank you so much for sharing that. Anybody else? So if there's no other question, so we can end that. And I want to thank all of you for your participation, your comments, your patience that you stood along and throughout the talks. And we will have another session. So there will be videos. We'll make it. We'll send it to you on your. Most of you are on my email list, and please subscribe to the channel so you'll get all the videos. So I'll be speaking to you soon. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.